Hi, boys and girls. Let's continue with chapters 7 and 8 of The Year of the Dog. Almost twins. And here's a bottle of vitamin C. I wonder what that has to do with this chapter. Let's see. When I came home from school, I couldn't wait to tell Mom about Melody. But of course, she already knew about it. Mom told me how she had gone grocery shopping and was surprised to see another Asian woman doing the same thing. The woman was so happy to see another Asian person that she went up to Mom and introduced herself. Melody's parents were from Taiwan too, so we were both Taiwanese American. Mom said she would take me over to Melody's new house. It was fun going to Melody's house. She had the best room. One whole wall of her room was a picture of jungle animals. There was a lion staring in the grass and monkeys climbing trees. There was even a pink flamingo. "How did you get your wall like that?" I asked, impressed. "It came that way," Melody said. "If you look close, you can see that it's a kind of wallpaper, not painted." I looked really closely and I could see a tiny line down the side. It was like a huge ceiling-to-floor poster. We tried to draw all the animals in Melody's notebook. I couldn't copy the lion very well, but Melody thought my elephant drawing was exactly like the one on the wall. Melody's brothers, Benji and Felix, came in and drew too. We drew Melody riding the giraffe and Felix swinging from a vine. Benji and Felix weren't too bad for boys. After Benji drew himself feeding bananas to the monkeys, he said, "I'm hungry. Let's go get some real bananas." That's when we realized we were all hungry, so we went downstairs to eat. In my house, Mom always has cookies or chocolate or cheese and crackers in the cupboards. If we didn't have those, there was always fruit in a can that I could eat too. But Melody didn't have any of those things. Mom told me Melody's mother was very nutritious. So in her cupboards, there were only plain rice cakes that tasted like paper. There were nuts that were still in the shells and didn't have any salt on them. But there weren't any bananas. "Don't you have any candy?" I asked. "No," Melody said, "but we have vitamins. They're kind of sweet." So we opened the big jar of vitamins. There was a big letter C on them. They were thin and flat and tasted like oranges. They were pretty good. Not as good as candy, but still yummy. We all sat on the floor eating vitamins. Melody's mother came into the room and was surprised to see us around the vitamin jar. She seemed a little upset with us. I don't know why. I thought she would be happy that we were being so healthy. "What are you doing?" she said. "You shouldn't be eating vitamins like that." "We were hungry," Melody said. "Well, it's almost dinner time," she said. "I'll make you something better to eat. Pacey, why don't you call your mother and see if you can stay over here for dinner?" I called Mom and we went back to Melody's room. "My mom called you Pacey," Melody said. "Your mom and your sisters called you that too, but everyone at school calls you Grace. How come?" "Oh, I have two names," I told her. "An American name and a Chinese name." "Why don't they just call you one of them?" Melody asked. "Don't you get mixed up?" "Well," I said, "it was like this. How my name changed from Pacey to Grace." And I'm going to pause here for a minute because I noticed that the author puts these subtitles or subheadings there when a story is about to be shared or told. If you recall back in the first chapter, how Grandpa got rich, with that story that her mom told, the author also used kind of like a title right in the middle of the page, and with the story about Mom falling asleep at school. So when I see this title in bold print in all caps, I know that one of the characters is about to share a story that doesn't take place at the time, at the current time that's going on in the chapter. All right, so let's see how my name changed from Pacey to Grace. On my first day of school, the teacher asked me, "What is your name?" Right away, I said, "Pacey Lynn." But she looked at her roster and shook her head. She said, No. You're a big girl now. You don't go by that name anymore. It says here your name is Grace." I didn't understand, but I just nodded my head. I knew I shouldn't tell the teacher she was wrong, but I kept thinking she had made a mistake. Maybe the teacher had me mixed up with another girl and I was supposed to be somewhere else. Maybe she was me and I was her. How could I find her? On the bus ride home, I asked Lissy about it. Oh, those are our American names, Lissy told me. They call me Beatrice. Mom and Dad gave us American and Chinese names. I think the people at the hospital told them to when we were born. Well, I want to be called Pacey, I grumbled. Don't be stupid, Lissy said. Pacey is too weird for everyone. They won't know how to say it. If I used Lissy, they'd ask, is that Lishi or Lisi? And then they'd ask, why do Chinese people always have to have these weird names? Just let them call you Grace. I still wasn't convinced. People won't know which one is really me, though. Look, Lissy said, it's like egg foo young. At home we call it foo young don, but at the restaurants they call it egg foo young. So it's easier for Americans to say. But it's still the same egg pancake. You know what you're eating when Mom gives it to you, don't you? And you know what to call it at the restaurant. It's not that hard. So now I finished. Everyone at school calls me by my American name and everyone at home calls me by my Chinese name. Well, Melody said, I guess it's kind of cool. It's like a nickname. But do you want me to call you Pacey or Grace? I thought for a moment. I call myself both names, I said, and we're almost twins, so you can call me both too. Chapter 8. Dinner at Melody's. Rice cooker. Felix came into the room and told us dinner was ready. I was glad because my stomach was grumbling. What's for dinner, I asked. Chinese food, of course, Felix said. The same at your house, probably. When we got downstairs, I wasn't surprised to see Melody's mother opening her rice cooker. We had rice every day at our house, too. But Melody's mother was scooping out big spoonfuls of brown rice. We never had brown rice at my house, only white rice. And then on the table, the vegetables weren't stir-fried, and the tofu didn't have any shiny sauce on it. Everything was plain and colorless and dry. Are you sure this is Chinese food? I asked Melody. Melody's mother heard me. This is Chinese food cooked a healthy way, she told me. It's very good for you. Try it. You'll like it. I tried it, but I didn't like it. To me, the rice was too crunchy and chewy, and the vegetables and tofu were tasteless. Yuck. I looked at Melody, Benji, and Felix. How could they eat this? But they didn't seem to think it was bad. They put everything in their mouths and swallowed it. I just kept pushing the rice from one side of my plate to the other. Aren't you hungry? Melody asked me. I thought I was, I said to her, but I guess not. Melody's mother looked at me worried. I hope eating all those vitamins didn't make you sick. Could a person get sick from eating too many healthy things? Maybe I was already so full of nutritious things from the vitamins that my body couldn't take anymore. Maybe that was why the dinner tasted so bad to me. We had dried apricots for dessert. They looked like shriveled orange mushrooms. I only had one. By that time, I was convinced it was because my body couldn't fit in any more nutrition, but Melody's mother worried that it was something else. She called Mom and talked to her for a long time in Taiwanese. Mom came over and picked me up right away. She put her hand on my head and said that I felt okay, but she'd bring me home just in case. In the car, she said, it's too bad you got sick. It sounded like you were having a good time. It was fun, I said, but can Melody come over to our house for dinner next time? And I giggle at that, so I'm going to put a little note in here. LOL, that made me laugh out loud. The food must have been pretty bad. And I thought it was funny that she said she couldn't fit any more nutrition in her body. And so now she wants Melody to come over for dinner. I don't think she's going to stay over for dinner at Melody's house again anytime soon. Okay, that's all for chapter 8. We'll be reading chapter 9, Red Eggs, next time.